We're back this week on the golf course with Andrew Green, and excited today to be on hole 16, really the only Andrew Green original on the golf course, if there is one. But still a lot of inspiration from Donald Ross, and obviously a lot of history here from Willie Kidd when he redesigned the hole in the 1920s before the Men's US Open. So we will walk and talk here, Andrew, and kind of talk us through your philosophy here, how you approach the design work on this hole, and we'll touch on some features along the way.
Sounds great. Yeah, let's do it. So, the first thing you're going to notice is the tees have shifted a little to the right, and that allowed us to take advantage of the overall space that we had for this par 4. The other thing you're going to understand as you start to play it is we're allowing you to be as aggressive as you want to be.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, there's plenty of room to be conservative. So as you think about the conclusion of the round here, coming off 15, kind of a modest par 4, you get a chance here to potentially make a great score. You can actually knock it on the green if you so choose, if you have the ability and you're playing from the right tee.
And what are we playing from the back here? I think 325 maybe from the back tee?
Maybe a smidge longer from that kind of super secret tee. So a lot of flexibility. And then we've actually aligned the tees to give you a little more aggressive line of play. So if you want to play more conservatively, certainly you want to kind of hedge your bet a little to the right. Part of the journey of twisting the tees really was to try to give us some more space for the overall utilization of 17. So a little bit of give and take. But as you're going to see when we get up into the fairway here, that the first half is fairly forgiving. It's wide. But once you make that decision to go inside of, let's say, 120 yards, you're going to have to make a call. Can you fly the left fairway bunker? Can you potentially fly the right fairway bunker or the second right fairway bunker? And then how close do you want to get to the putting surface? And I really think a lot will come into play of, where's the hole location? How are you feeling? Where are you in your match, potentially? And the realization that you have a really tough par 3 coming up. So all of that starts to play into the mental aspect of the way this is going to work.
We're coming up on some of our first set of fairway bunkers here in this landing zone, and some unique characteristics to your fairway bunkers, and we've talked about some progressive penalties. We've talked about kind of the exposed grass face there. Maybe talk to us about your strategy for some of these bunkers and how they're coming into play, maybe particularly here on 16, but throughout the golf course.
Yeah, I think you're going to see that throughout the golf course, the bunkers all have differing depths, sizes, shapes, and meaning. And there are going to be some bunkers on the golf course that you're going to want to avoid. Potentially this guy here on the left could be troublesome depending on how close to the face that you might be. But it's a little bit of a progressive penalty. The more you miss to the left, the more demanding that shot is. To the right side, that bunker looks mean from the tee, but actually when you're in it, the carry out of it's not too bad at all. When we step up to the larger bunker here on the right side, you're going to see that the real penalty potentially of that bunker is really just the length of the golf shot. The severity of this bunker is very limited compared to some of these others. And again, that's to kind of add to the spice of the golf hole, the variety of the golf hole. And then also just to make you think about once you play into this space, if you miss it a little bit, it's not the end of the world, but it is a demanding bunker shot.
Well, maybe it's stop here too. Obviously we got the bunker here on the right, the hummocks off to the left. Really first time maybe in some of our video conversation we've talked about the hummocks. Talk to us about that strategy. How do they fit into the golf course back 100 plus years ago, and how have we started to use them here kind of throughout the entire golf course?
Yeah, I think, back in the day they were both a purposeful hazard as well as a great way to utilize extra material. They certainly weren't hauling dirt from one side of the golf course to the other. So it was a great way to kind of create this thoughtful element to the golf course, but without a great deal of cost or effort. So on the left side here at 16, we have a couple for a few different reasons. First, this set to the left is to keep you a bit honest if you're playing aggressively up the golf hole. And then the second set are really meant more to really, if you're really trying to overpower the golf hole, that we don't want you to be careless or play up 15 or something over in that direction.
Well, maybe what are we seeing here as we come up to the green? I'm really excited to share this green. I think it's one of the most interesting greens on the golf course. Tons of variety, a lot of pin positions, and frankly, maybe one of the biggest. So talk to us about the strategy here as you come into the green, and let's get up on top there and take a look.
Yeah, so I think here it starts to be the ability to drive the ball all the way to the putting surface if you so choose, so it's a large enough target to sustain that. The slopes within the putting surface allow for a ball to be received, but you do have to know where you're going. It's not just a free-for-all. And then the interesting thing for me is that as we get up onto the putting surface, if you have a short club in your hand, you have to be very precise to not get close. The green kind of has 3 sections to it, maybe 4 or 5 if you look at it in a granular level. Certainly the front half here a bit narrower, but definitely receptive. As we get into the right side, it's higher. It has a kind of a variety of places for the hole to go. And then back left, the green actually kind of flows out a little bit in that direction. And it allows you to kind of play, at least to the back left, and kind of play to the center, let the slope help you.
Awesome. Well, you've made reference to it. Certainly a stretch coming home here, whether it be your best round or a match play event, but you'll hit 16, 17, 18, and there's gonna be a lot of matches won and lost here for sure.
Yeah, and I just think this is just a perfect spot for this kind of golf hole. And when we think about the variety on this side of the road, it's just off the charts. And it only adds to that overall character. And again, the dynamic of having a gettable par 4 and then following it with a very tough par 3. It's a really cool dynamic.
Well, there was a lot of conversation over the years about hole 16 and what to do with it, and I think you've nailed it here, and I'm excited to see what people think next summer.
Me too.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.